universes soon.
Brooklyn is gonna collapse. My family lives in Brooklyn.
Whoa.
Miles, what's wrong?
This was never your city. It's mine.
If I don't destroy the collider, none of us will have a home to go home to.
Remember, what makes you different
Let's go.
is what makes you Spider-Man.
What is up, guys? Good Critic is back with another review, and this review is on the new animated film Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is directed by Peter Ramsey, Robert Persichetti, and Rodney Rothman, and it stars Shameik Moore and Jake Johnson. So when the trailers first came out for this movie, I thought the trailers were decent. I liked the second trailer more than the first trailer for sure. And then hearing all the brilliant reviews coming out of this movie, it actually got me really excited to see this movie. And I came out of this movie and I love this movie. Now, one thing that I was really curious about, especially from the trailers, was the animation style of this film. And the animation style was great. It looks just like a comic book. It looks like you're basically reading a comic book. How they have like the little bubbles or the boxes that shows what the character is thinking is phenomenal. It didn't feel trippy at times, but yes, there were times here and there where the animation did look a little bit 3D, even though you were watching it in 2D. But I didn't really care about that because it didn't bother me, but the animation was phenomenal. And one thing I was very skeptical about going into this movie was the plot going to be so convoluted with all these different universes, and you still have your villains, and with Miles Morales, and I thought it was just going to be convoluted, and it wasn't convoluted at all. It told the story very nicely, and you do not get confused, and the story was great. All the Spider people were great: Spider-Ham, Spider-Gwen, Peter B. Parker, Spider-Man Noir, and all the different Spider people was great. And I'll talk about Miles Morales in a little bit, but each character just had their moment, and to have a movie with a plot like this with all these different characters and they each have their own moment and they all have something to do, it was just phenomenal. You also felt like there were stakes involved for each character. You got each character's backstory, which is great, and it really went in depth into each character. Yes, even Spider-Ham, who I thought was awesome. The relationship between the whole Spider group was great. It worked for me, especially the Peter B. Parker and the Miles Morales relationship, because they kind of have like a mentor relationship, and obviously Peter B. Parker was the mentor in this case, and it was full of heart, and you cared for all these characters. And the relationship with Miles Morales and his family, I thought worked really well. There's also lots of heart in that relationship. I mean, this whole movie was full of heart, but especially with him and his dad, they have lots of scenes together that some were even a little bit heartbreaking, but they're phenomenal scenes. The soundtrack I thought was really good. It went with the story very well, and they actually put songs in places that I thought fit really good. Now, going into this movie, I didn't really know much about the Miles Morales character, and I loved his character in this movie. And yes, while you have all these dimensions happening with all these different spider people, in its core, you could kind of see it in the beginning. It was about Miles Morales finding who he truly is as Spider-Man and how he's different from everybody else, and it worked flawlessly in this movie. And you kind of could relate in his character in different ways, which I thought was really cool. And overall, this movie is great. The villains I thought were really good. Kingpin was awesome. I loved the way he looked. There's also different surprises along the way, which was awesome. Stan Lee has a great cameo in this movie. And with that said, guys, I think my spidey senses are tingling. 5 out of 5 Fernies for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Tell me down in the comment section below, have you seen this movie? And with that said, guys, look out for the next review, and peace.